All right.
Well, give me a minute, okay?
You should clap unless...
Well, that's how I get my timing right, but you can wait till I come over here to...
I thought that's when you wanted me to start. So
no, that's how I
clap, clap.
time the two cameras together. Now, after I get in my position here,
okay,
now we can start.
All right. Well, the other day we declared war on spider mites. We've been trying to be nice and do it with organic things. We tried the antibiotic soap and water, which usually will work on most bugs. That didn't work. I tried some other things, and we had a real bad, well, if you watched our last video, you saw the bad bugs that we had on these guys. And so we went to war and we decided
to go with poison. Poison! We killed them. Yeah, we picked this up at, I believe it was Walmart. I shouldn't say we shopped there, but I happen to have this in my garage. And
we said to heck with going organic for right now, because we have an entire greenhouse that we've already lost enough plants and we don't want to lose any more. So we, I did the skull and crossbones on here so that... But I took 1.5 teaspoons of that in this spray bottle, and then made it come out on a really fine mist. Gary had a really good point that when you spray them, if it comes out really fine, it helps get underneath those leaves more.
Yeah, and that's not a fine mist there.
Yeah, it's not as fine as that one. I don't want to spray that one in here because it stinks.
But yeah, basically you want to pulverize the poison into the air as much as possible. If it's in big droplets, it's gonna fall straight down on the plant, and it won't get on the stems and underneath the leaves. If you pulverize it.
A really fine mist.
Yeah, a fine mist. The finer the better, and it'll actually go all around underneath the leaves and get the bugs a lot better that way.
That's where those suckers like to live. So we're going to do a close-up of the results. And you can see the bugs on there, and they are not moving.
That way, yeah.
Bugs right there. So I'm really happy to see that they're not moving. And we're going to watch these really careful, because I don't know if that first application is going to kill the eggs. And these things are supposed to have a life cycle of about 7 days. So, but there might be 1 million eggs in here, who knows.
Well, you said they make how many a day?
It was something crazy,
well,
like 20 million, or I don't know.
They must bend over and just shoot them out. Whatever, but a lot of eggs, so yeah, we don't want them coming back.
So we nuked the whole greenhouse. I sprayed everything in here that's green. So hopefully we'll keep you posted on that. Hopefully that's gonna be a problem that's gone. And then another thing I wanted to talk about today, on our last video, Gary asked me a question, really good question, and I looked up the answer on the internet, and I felt really stupid, because what Gary asked, we were doing a video on cuttings and making clones from one plant to another. And Gary asked, well, can you do that with a tomato plant? And I said, I don't know, I've never done it. So I look it up on the internet, and I really feel stupid. As many tomato plants as I have done in my life, the tomato plant is the easiest tomato plant to make clones out of.
Well, then why in the heck are we using seeds? I mean, look at all those plants we put together. It doesn't make sense, does it? Unless you, maybe, I don't know.
Well, that's what I learned is that, okay, first of all, you know, like when I repot these into a bigger pot, I've been cutting these guys off and I've been throwing them away. Well, all we got to do is take these and, you know, cut off the leaves here on towards the bottom. But the reason that they're so easy to root is because the entire stem roots instead of just that little node.
Oh, so it, like we talked about, it doesn't help to splice the end of it down at an angle.
No, because it roots all along the stems there. So all of these, all as we have to do, you know, to get it this big, it's been what, 6-8 weeks?
Yeah.
And so if we do clones, and we start with
clones without bugs on them.
Yeah. Yeah, pick the ones that don't have spider bites.
Yeah.
And all we got to do is take those, stick our finger in a pot of wet soil.
That seems like a pretty big pot to start out with, but maybe not, huh?
Actually, it's just the first one I grabbed for the...
Okay.
I'll probably start them in these, like this size.
Uh-oh, you screwed up. Did you put the root stuff on them?
I don't know if we even need to do that on these because they're so easy to root. I don't think I'm going to waste the money. I might do a test and do...
well, why don't we do that, and then we can talk about it later.
One with, one
Are you going to do
without.
another one?
Well, I sure can.
Where is your...
I'll be right back.
Root stuff? Okay.
Okay, so we'll do some tomato plants without the rooting hormone and do a couple with, see which ones produce faster. Oh, it's
You call this
faster to just
rooting,
pick these off.
rooting what?
It's called rooting hormone.
Hormones. It's like antibiotics or something like that. It makes them grow better anyway, right? Yeah.
So we'll just put,
There you go.
I'm going to stick that all along that stem. You don't want to try forcing these down in because they're really soft and they'll just break off. And stick your finger in the wet soil and then just pack it real nice around there. And we should have, within 2 weeks, we should have a plant that exceeds this, I'll betcha. And what's really cool is that by taking cuttings like this, if we keep doing cuttings all the time, like you said, we won't have to mess around growing by seed unless we want to.
Well, growing by seed is really difficult from what we did over there underneath the grow light and everything. This just seems so much more easy.
Well, yeah, and seeds, you know, you deal with diseases and the damping off and things like that. And since we have an area here to keep the plants alive all year long, then it makes sense to make our little clones like in September. You know, keep them going all year long. And I don't have a plant that's got a sucker on it right now, but as the plants start growing bigger, right here in this V part, they're going to start making new little plants that are going to come out here and here and here. And as the tomato plant grows up, you want to cut those off so it's not sucking. They call them suckers because they suck the life out of the top of the plant. Well, you want the growth to go to the top of the plant and to the fruit. So I always cut those off. Well, what it is, that's like a new baby plant that's growing too. So when I cut all my runners off, I can make more plants out of those too. So I was really excited to hear that, and I really felt dumb because I didn't know that.
That's what this is all about.
And that's what this is all about.
Feel dumb every day. We don't care. So far, we're not making a penny off of this, anyways.
Well,
right? It's fun. It's all. Well, maybe down the road we'll make a few bucks.
Oh, hopefully. But that's what it's all about, is learning, and man, are we learning a lot. So it's fun.
Well, I guess I have a question here too, is that you probably can't answer, but well, maybe you can. But you don't have a male and a female plant, or do you?
You have male and female flowers on the
same plant.
On the same plant, but you do have male and female plants.
Well, if we grow all of these plants off from one plant, and you're not getting a mixture of, that's like cloning a bunch of people or something. Everybody's going to look the same, and okay, I'm going down the wrong road, but because these are plants, not, but.
Well, I understand what you're saying, and see what happens with a tomato plant. We'll just use those for an example because I know the answer.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. No, for your example, actually, a cucumber plant I think would be better because you have male and female flowers. And because one of the flowers is going to have a little bulb right next to it, and that's what, like, the cucumber or the melon is going to be. And the other flower isn't going to have anything like that next to it. So one is the male, one is a female. So in here, when we're going to have to do our own pollinating, because usually the bees will go to, the male and then the female, or the other way around, however that works. And in here, we're going to have to take a toothbrush and get the pollen out of the flowers and put them into the other flowers.
Yeah.
But when you do a clone of the whole plant, it's cloning how do I explain it? It's
the same plant.
It's the same plant, and the plant will make male and female flowers.
I'm one of these guys that are, common sense. I try to reason everything out. You can't believe it, but this is all new to me. But it makes sense to me that you would want to start out with a certain amount of seeds. That way you'll have different plants to clone and not clone them all from one plant, because that seems like it can be getting yourself into trouble with it not producing right and stuff later. Yeah. I don't know, but it just makes sense to me. I try to figure this stuff out.
Yeah, like you want to, like we planted, I don't know how many beefsteak tomato plants, a whole bunch of them. So what I'll want to do for the cloning is take the nicest, healthiest plant that's disease-free and do the clones from that one, and then clone whatever is the best from the next batch, So you're always after cloning the healthiest. So I'll clone some of the beefsteak, and then I'll clone some of the Roma tomatoes, and I think I've got six different varieties in here right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that is just super exciting to me. So I'm going to start cloning a bunch, so my neighbors are going to be getting all free tomato plants. Either that, or I'm going to go down to the farmer's market and see if I can sell them.
We don't have an outlet yet where we can sell this stuff, but down the road we're going to have to find one, I think.
Yep. Okay, well, that's all I had for today.
Okay. Well,